Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Styling, aka Jonathan, and we're here today going to try and attempt to make a video, since nobody has done one yet, on Otter's modification for changing the caster. Me and my son here today are going to try this out, see if we can make it look easy, as novice as I am. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to slide the jack in. Okay, right about here where my hand is, about 8 inches back, there's a bunch of crossbars that you can feel. You want to make sure that you don't hit the exhaust. The exhaust is right here, but there's some crossbars back here that you can feel about right here, about 6 inches back, where the jack can sit nicely. I put a towel on top of mine, you know, for whatever reason, to just keep it from getting scratched, but it really doesn't matter because you can't see it anyways, but to me it does. So if that makes sense, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and drag this bad girl up about an inch up off the ground. So there we go. Here it goes. It's going up on a Tuesday. All right. Okay, it's about an inch up off the ground now, and we've got our bolts here that we went to the local Fastenal store. I don't know where you can get yours from, but mine are the 8.8. They're actually a 5-grade bolt. That's what's stock in these. I found out these are 5-grade bolts. You can put the grade 8 bolts in there, but the gentleman at the store said the problem with the grade 8 bolts is that they're so strong, instead of giving a flex before breaking, they just snap. So he said to go with these because A, that's what's in there, and B, these will actually bend before they break, giving you a chance to see a bend or to see a flaw and to make a change before something drastic happens. But what we're doing today is we're moving this big shim right here from the back side and placing it right up here on the front side. Now, in front of this here are very, very thin shims, probably about 3 of them on the back side. That's what was on my other side because I did this as a test run already, so that way I knew what I was doing when I made this video. On this side, there's 2, which you can't see because the thing is in the way. There's 2 thin metal shims on this side. Actually, it doesn't even look like they're there, but I think they are. We'll find out when we get into it. So the 3 will stay in the back, and you're only going to move this 1 3/8 inch thick shim to the front here. So how we're going to do that is these bolts are a 15 millimeter that are stock. The bolts you will be replacing are a 17 millimeter. So we're going to get in here. On the back side, I had to use a deep socket to get in there. On the front side, I have an open socket to get in there, like this. So that's a 15 millimeter on both of them. So I use 2 wrenches. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll get it. So we're going to start with the back, and we're going to loosen it up just enough to get the shim out of it. And these are on there rather tight, so you might have to go forward and then backwards with it just to break it loose. So there's that one. It's broke loose. We're going to go ahead and take it out as far as we need to just get the shim. Now on the other side, some of the guys were worried that it wouldn't clear the master cylinder for the brake. The brake master cylinder, I believe that's what it is, for where all the brake lines go into. But on the other side it does, and before the video's over I'll walk it over there and I'll show you that mine cleared perfectly. So we're going to pull this out just a little ways. I need to grab my other wrench here. Thank you. And then it's great to have a partner that can help you. Put this one on here. Alright, whoop, there it goes. Alright, broke loose. Okay, that's cool. Now we're going to go ahead and just break these loose while it's all together. Fantastic. There we go. Okay. And once they come loose, they really do get finger loose, as you can see as you start to undo them. It's not really that bad. Now see how I try and put this in here, the shape of the A-arm? It won't fit. It actually goes on kind of sideways, so I don't want to do that. I want to put the shim or the deep socket on there, so that way it clears it, and we don't have a problem with stripping out this stock bolt here. Not like we're going to use these front ones anyways, but it would be nice to have some extras just in case, or in case you want to go back to your old setup. So you see the shims, actually look at these shims, are right in the middle on this one. On the other side, these 3 right here were against the firewall. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these set up the way that they are. I don't know if that's how Otter did it or not. If it is, maybe I'll go back and read the post again, and if it's wrong, then I'll switch them. But I'm just going to take this back one and simply slide it in where it needs to go in the front. That's it. So I'm not gonna rearrange those at all. I'm just gonna leave it. And these three right here will stay back here. So let's get this out a little bit farther, just so we can pull it loose. Ooh, that's in a bad spot, that pole right there. The jack is definitely in the crotch. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna pull this one out, and you see it kind of just wiggles out real easy. Just get it out and get it loose, and once you got it loose, it's done. Now these shims do move, so here I only have 2 in the back, and I think on the other side I had 3, so I'm not sure. I'll have to go back over there and look again and count it. But if there are 3, I may want to go and adjust it to put it 3, because I do remember it saying that whatever you do to that side, you have to do to this side to keep it even. So we don't want any off tracking. And you see, as I pull this out, how thin these are. Super thin right there. So they're small. But we're going to go ahead and put those back in there. Then we're going to take our socket here, and we're going to tighten this bad girl back down as much as we can, just so that way we don't need all that gap there. And it'll hold those shims in place while we're trying to work on the other side. But you're not going to make it tight. You're going to leave it loose. You just want these to be closer, so that way shit's not falling all over the place like on the other side that I experienced. This is probably like the 5th time I made this video. Thank God we did the other side first, and now we look like professionals. Or not. Oh, wrong way. See? Yeah, as I say that. Okay, here we go. Let's get this down. These things just spin by hand, really. See? Oh, maybe not anymore. Alright, you want to put your thumb on there to kind of keep the shims down as you tighten it closer, so that way they're not gonna pop off or anything. There we go. I'm not, and it's snug. And look, I don't even have the back one on there all the way. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is come over here, and we're gonna loosen this up. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're not gonna loosen it. We're gonna take this bolt out. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the tricky part, because once you get this inside bolt out here, it is gonna be long on the other one. These are about a 65 or a 70 millimeter bolt. The ones you're putting in are an 80 millimeter bolt, unless you found a 75, which I believe Otter said a 75 will work. So unless you found a 75, it is going to be extremely long, and it's going to be difficult to get your socket around it. So you may have to use a wrench. I kind of okey-doked mine to get in there. And now watch, these shims will fall, so you got to be careful sometimes. And that time they didn't, so thank goodness. Alright. Okay, so as you can see the difference in the bolts here. This is our new one. 10 by 1.50, I believe. And this is our small stock one. We're going to put that down. I hear creaking, so that's not good. Alright. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put this bolt in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we go. Matter of fact, I want to try and loosen this one up. That's what I should have did just a little bit more, so that way I can get the shims in there.
Hey, it's still down.
Huh?
It's still down.
What is?
Jack.
It's going down?
It's up.
Oh, that's alright. Alright, there we go. That looks like it's, nope, pretty good. Nope, we gotta go farther. But anyways, before we do that, let's get this in there. So that way we can get it in and then get it adjusted just right. So it's nice and long. It will kind of thread in with your fingers a little bit, so get it going, but then it'll stop. So what you'll have to do is you may have to get a wrench to help it out to go in there. So I don't know if this one's gonna work. We can try, but sometimes it doesn't, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be generous to us here. So we are going to have to get a wrench and do it like that. Let's see. Actually, hold on. Oh, just barely. Just barely. Look at that. Almost. Actually, I'm being lazy here. I probably should get a wrench, but it's gonna go right now. There it goes. Cool. Okay, let's work this in there. Get it going. You want to get it down nice and snug, but not too snug, because you do have to put that other spacer in there. So we'll leave enough room to get that spacer in there without losing all of our little doodads here. Now, that looks about right there. Okay, and it's in there kind of far, so when this one drops out, you will see that it will have enough space to get our next spacer in there. Alright, so now this bolt's going to come all the way out, and we're probably going to lose our little things here, so I'll kind of try and hold on to them. Ouch! Try not to do that. It's starting to flex a little bit because it has no weight on it and it's pulling it down farther. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, there we go. Now, as we put this one in the front, we have to put our shims. So son, can you reach into there and just kind of keep your finger, keep that up like that? Actually, well, maybe not. Hold on. I might be able to get it from here. Put these two shims in there. Now, I couldn't find 0.8s. What I ended up finding were 0.075. Otter found 0.08, but he said that it was kind of minimal, that you do it that way. It doesn't really matter because it's not going to hurt too much. So we're going to try it with 0.075 washers and hope that that doesn't cause too much of a problem. But like I said, it's the same on this side as it is on the other side. Okay, now that's good. Now I want to try and pull that out. This just pulls out with your hand real easy. And we're going to take our other one here. And like I said, I'm going to leave them the way they were, all nice and smashed together. Pull my two front washers down. Stick this in there just like so. Hold it with my hand and try and snug down one of these sides here. With a little bit of expertise, doing this a couple of times, this is really a quick and easy mod. And we're almost snug. Alright, so that side is nice and snug now. As you can see, we've got to tighten this side down a little bit more. We shouldn't have any problems. Then what we're going to do is on the other side here, in the front, just like we did here, in the front, we're going to put two more 0.075 washers, just like this, on the front of this one. To do that, you're going to have to pull it all the way out. Watch the shims. Put these on the bolt. Put the bolt back in. And there you go. Remember, when you put them on the bolt, that you're putting it in front of the A-arm here. So that way it makes a difference. Don't put it on the back because you're not adjusting anything.